Hello folks and welcome. So Linux Mint 21.3 Cinnamon. How would you like to have a little bit of fun with your Mint menu? Changing that logo to maybe a green Mint logo or some other derivatives, and also resizing those icons and the height of that box. But I'm going to show you a little different twist today. I'm going to be creating what I call profiles to change in a couple of seconds from one to the other without having to go through that process over and over again. And I'll be showing several different what I call profiles on this menu. Anyone can do this and have a little fun at the same time. I'm filming in 1920 by 1080. You can adjust your YouTube player accordingly. Keep in mind, whenever you look at things, it's all subjected to your screen resolution. So that's why I'm going to talk about icon height and panel height and also your menu heights in this video. But again, anyone can do this. So any user of Linux Mint, Cinnamon Desktop. Linux is for any age, but the name of my channel is Linux for Seniors. If you'd like to subscribe, look for that logo down here in the time and date area with yellow bars. I do recommend that this video is going to be somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes because I'm going to walk you through this complete process very simply about creating profiles for your Mint menu. So I have lots of different videos on different stuff on my YouTube site if you haven't discovered my channel yet. So let me give you some of the examples of switching this to a different, what I call profile. So you already seen the first one. I will walk you through this whole process. This one has Darth Vader on it. Oh no, I'm sorry, Stormtrooper, pardon me. It's got a custom message too. I'll talk a little bit about custom icons too, but I'll give you a couple more perspectives. And maybe some more conservative ones would be our green logo here with the word test test on it. And also I'll do some one with the smaller menus on it also because I have those saved. This one's called mini menu with a green logo on it. Smaller icons, in other words, and smaller box. All right, a couple of things I'm going to talk about first. First of all, our user for today is Mary. It's just a made-up name. Mary has two folders that one of them you can create or not. You can also rename these whatever you want. But if you want to go through this process, I'm going to show you how to do this. The other thing to be aware of, then when I get into custom icons, this is a folder that I brought in, or Mary brought in, that has custom stuff on it. So you don't have that. However, you can create yourself a folder and call it like Mint Menu Panel. All of these are different profiles, I call them, of that menu. I showed you a couple of those already, and I haven't showed you all of them yet. But anyone can do this. Right-click, configure. I'll show you a couple more. So I have, sorry, wrong folder. This one has Darth Vader on it. Just to be goofy, I can resize that icon too if I wanted to. And one more. And then we'll get into the process. I don't know if I showed the green logo on that one. But anyways, that's got medium-sized icons. All right, so let's talk about this box here. So you can create yourself the folder. You can certainly do this without creating profiles, but I think you will find that when you're done with this video, you'll probably have a little fun with this. So I'm going to right-click and hit configure, and I'm going to reset this to default. All right, so we're going to talk about importing. That would be a profile you already created. You're going to also do export. That's what I'm going to do in a couple of minutes to save things, and then we can reset to defaults. So let's start with that. This is what your main menu looks like. All right, I don't think I have any custom icons in this video, but anyways, standard logo, standard box. So let's talk about the height of this box first. Since I'm using a non-standard mouse cursor, I just wanted to point it out. It's called Radioactive, and you can find videos on my YouTube site for this. I have all kinds of videos. But take your standard mouse cursor and grab a hold of the corner. Click and drag it up in the air. If you're using a touchpad, these can be very sensitive. So that's why I like to use computer mice. All right. So all I'm doing is clicking and dragging and making it taller. However, these three icon sizes are too dinky for me. So I'm going to right click, too small in other words, configure, right click on the Mint logo, configure, and walk over to menu. Now you have three categories: category, application, and favorite as numbers. If you feel more comfortable using screenshots, go for it. You can always reset to defaults. Hamburger menu here. Okay? So let's start with the category size. I know I made the box very tall, so let's accommodate some larger icons for that. 54. I still have lots of room in here, so I'm going to leave it at 54. Now these are still too small or too dinky. Let's crank those up. Let's try a 39 first, somewhere in that range. These are all subjective to your screen res also. So your screen resolution, all of these things look different. Filming in 1920 by 1080 as a reminder. I like the size of those. Now the next question is, do you want to alter this icon? If you do, then you can click on that. It should default to Linux Mint, and these are all your Linux Mint icons. Your scroll bars will be thinner. I have different videos on that on my YouTube site for the wide scroll bars, but anyways, moving along. So that's your standard logo. That's what's currently down here. All right, so if you want a different shape, there's one. Or you want a different color, then you have a green one. By the way, this is, I'm going to just, not to get off on a tangent, I'm going to stop for a second and talk about this panel bar height. That has a relationship to do with the size of your icon here. I'm not talking these icons, I'm talking this one. Right click, panel settings, panel height. Has a relationship with your Mint menu also. Just remember, those two work together. Your standard default setting is right about in here where my pointer is pointing. Just please remember that. I'm going to crank this up a little bit. Okay. I'm just trying to make this larger. We can put names in here. Put whatever you want. You want to put my stuff? Go for it. How about putting, I'll just put in my Linux stuff. How's that? All right, I'll talk about custom logos in a minute. But if you're satisfied with all your settings right here, and again, you can put spaces on either side of this also to make that here. I'll give you an example of that. I'm going to click next to the M and hit the space bar. That gives me a little extra room in here. You can do the same thing on the tail end. Just don't go crazy because you will lose a little bit of real estate on your panel. Now that I'm done, it's hamburger menu time, and we're going to do an export to save this profile is what I call it. Export to file. All right, have you already made your folder yet? If not, go create one. Maria has already made her folder in Documents, and she's got extra profiles. We're going to call this green logo. I don't know, something. It's whatever name you want to give it. It's going to be saving that as JSON type of file. Not that you need to know that. Now you're done. So if you get tired of this, right click, configure, and change your profile to something different. As in my case, or Mary's case, she saves them in here. So we can go with the Stormtrooper. We can go with the, I think I have a couple more goofy ones. There's a Darth Vader one. And we got also some more conservative ones. So I have this blue box also I created. And these also have different icon sizes. All right, so let's talk a little bit about you're going to create your own. First of all, we can start with reset to defaults. So import is for stuff that you've already saved. Export is for creating. And reset, just exactly what it says. So I'm going to restart, do a reset. All right, so right now we're back to the beginning. You can either start with the box or you can start with the logo if you're doing custom logos. As I pointed out, Mary has her own folder. Mary brought in this folder and has extra icons. If you're going to do this, you make sure that once you start using one or more of these icons in your system, you do not rename this folder or move it, because your system needs to find these icons when you reboot. It's very important you understand this process. You can call these folders whatever you want. You can bring on icons off the internet, and if you are the type of person that makes their own icons like myself, then you can place them in there. Okay? Right click, configure. Click that, hit browse. Go find your folder wherever you saved it. All right? So I'm going to pick one. I'll use this funny color one. It doesn't matter what it is. I know this looks small to you. Filming in 1920 by 1080. Everybody's screen res is different. 4K, 1080. Big difference. All right, so hopefully you can see part of this. I click it to select it. It automatically changed. And I believe that one's scalable, so let me try it. If it does increase in size, you know it's scalable. If it doesn't, then maybe your custom icon needs to be fixed, maybe using GIMP or something else. But more importantly, it's all subjective also to my panel height. All right, so I'm going to make that somewhere in that range, 44. Hopefully that's tall enough for you. Call this one color box for my logo. And I'll scroll on over and hit the space bar to give it an extra space in between there. All right, we still have this to deal with, so we can manually do this first if you like. Well, actually, let me just do it this way. Grab a hold of the corner, and now let's resize the innards. Right click, configure, menu, start cranking. Let's go with 37 on those, somewhere in that range, and we'll make that 48 and see what it looks like. All right, if you're satisfied with that, okay, all the options in here, then click the hamburger menu and export. Export. You're saving now. Saving. You're not importing. You're exporting. Okay. Same folder though. And we'll call it color box because that's what my text says. As you can see, this is very easy to do. Very simple process. Can be fun also at the same time. If you get tired of this thing, you know you can always switch. As long as you have these saved. So I'm going to switch back to what I started with. Right there. I can do this in 2 seconds. Lots of videos on my YouTube site, folks. Thank you for watching.